Thanks very much. We had a great meeting with the Prime Minister, talked about a number of issues, looking forward to continuing to build on the relationship we've had for the last 4 years. Many of you would have known and have seen that Nova Scotia has been growing. Our population is an all-time high. Our economy is moving. Exports are seeking unprecedented limits, and we spoke about ensuring that we continue to grow the population, flexibility in the immigration numbers that we require. At the same time, making sure that we can invest with some of the capital that we've been able to maintain with balanced budgets. So we needed flexibility in the affordable housing program at the same time as we continue to look for other opportunities.
Did you come to any specifics on immigration numbers?
We're continuing that conversation. Nova Scotia, for the last number of years, not only have we hit our peak of 1,400 nominees, we've also then been able to borrow some from sister provinces next door. They usually come in late in the year. What we need from the federal government is a more consistent number and allow that to grow over a period of time. If you look at Alberta and Saskatchewan, they have about 5,000 nominees. We get 1,400. That's a substantial difference, and our economy requires that. Our unemployment is at an all-time low, quite frankly, and we need more support welcoming new Nova Scotians, new Canadians, particularly in our resource sectors.
Did the PM raise your trips to China?
I raised them with the Prime Minister. I was telling him this was my just back from my 8th trip. Talked to him about the 2 charter flights that we have just commissioned for the end of September and in October, and told him we're looking forward to continuing to build the economic ties that we have with China.
Did he have any advice on how to balance or how you're navigating the drive for new business with the fact that 2 Canadians have now been imprisoned there, as the government says, arbitrarily for a year?
I think all Canadians, including our government, recognize we want those 2 Michaels home. We want the Canadians home. I've raised the issue when I've been in China with both Governor Ma and others that our citizens need to be able to travel into our countries and move freely about. But what we talked about today was the economic ties that we've been building and the private sector's been building, not only in Nova Scotia, but indeed across the country. We want to continue that, and that direct flight is another way for us as a region to grow our tourism numbers and grow the economic benefit for our citizens.
Do your trips there, though, send the wrong message to China that it can continue to do all this business with Canada while it's arresting citizens?
No, I don't believe so at all. We've raised the issue, but there's an economic relationship that is required. We need to continue to provide good opportunities. I've said this many times. If you want to change the outlook of Chinese citizens around how you govern, you look at what's happening right now in Hong Kong. Those young people have seen a different type of democracy, and they want to keep it. Our going in and welcoming more Chinese into our province, we believe will show the next generation of young Chinese that the governance that we have here in Canada is a model that we believe could be around the world. But staying away doesn't change anything. Not engaging doesn't change anything. The national government is making it very clear through the Prime Minister and through the Ambassador their opposition to what's happening there. We raise it, but we also then go in and make those economic ties, and we'll continue to do so.
Are you worried though that China will use your visit to sort of convince its citizens of a different message?
No, not at all. I think it's very clear. They know. Ambassador Barton has been very clear, as well as so has the Prime Minister and his ministers. They recognize that we as a province on the east coast of Canada have tremendous products. We also continue to move people in and out. Let's face it, the economics between our 2 countries hasn't changed. The private sectors continue to grow a relationship in China. We need this issue solved. We need the national governments to come together to find a resolution to that. But in the meantime, we as a small province on the East Coast need to continue to build on the work that we've already been doing in China to make sure that for our citizens, the economic opportunities associated with that will be a benefit to them.
Did you talk about Northern Pulp at all and whether or not you need a provincial or federal assessment on a new waste treatment plan?
No, we didn't talk about Northern Pulp at all. It's before the regulator, and it would be inappropriate for us to be talking about that.
Healthcare?
We did. We talked about healthcare funding. The issue that could come from the First Minister's meeting is he knows. We believe the national government should be a bigger partner when it comes to delivering healthcare. I, as a Premier, would welcome that funding being targeted. whether it's towards adolescent mental health, whether it's towards more long-term care or care associated with home care, whether it's catastrophic drug coverage. But we believe the national government needs to play a bigger role.
Did he give you any sense of what he's going to do with the fiscal stabilization program? I know this was a unanimous request from the meetings last week in Toronto. Did he give you any indication of where the federal government is on that?
No, he just said that they will be having that conversation with those provinces, and but no indication of what that would look like.
He's meeting with the Premier right now. How different do you think his conversation in there is with the one you just had?
I don't know what that'll be like. The good news in Nova Scotia, we're growing. We are looking towards the future. We continue to make investments in people. We partnered with the national government in the last term to make sure that our highway infrastructure is improved, water and sewers improved. My message to the Prime Minister was we've done a lot of work to get our fiscal house in order. We need flexibility with the national government now to allow us to take those surpluses to reinvest back into services for Nova Scotians, and that we are a willing partner to continue to grow the region.
On LNG, Nova Scotia, I believe, has supported the notion that LNG exports would count towards credits. Are you in support of that, and are you pushing for Ottawa to negotiate that into Article 6 at COP?
We, as you know, LNG is at its infancy now in Nova Scotia. The Goldboro project just got a supply of gas actually out of Alberta. Bought assets there that will bring gas into our province. We're working with all of our partners to ensure how do we, if this project goes, how do we ensure that we can do it with at the same time maintaining our own cap and trade system that we have at home.
And why did you not release your itinerary for this? Every other premier who's visited Ottawa releases it proactively. Why do you continue not to do that?
I continue to communicate when I've gone on meetings, but there's been no real reason. Media asked me at home, asked me where I'm going. I'd be happy to tell them. I look forward to meeting the Prime Minister, and I look forward to continuing to govern the province in the way that has moved our province forward. Population all-time high, more young people see a future for themselves. The economy is diversified, heavy investments in healthcare infrastructure, and I look forward to working with my friends in the media at home.
Thanks.
Thank you.